Hello guys and welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. This is our daily Everton update show. Our main bit of news for today is a link with Callum Hudson-ODOI. It appears it's his neck on the chopping block next at Chelsea just after Christian Pulisic has left. He's been told his services are no longer needed after joining the academy at 7. We are joined in our interest by Fulham and Nottingham Forest. From my conversations with other Fulham fans, they seem to be a lot further on in the process of securing a signature. They use words like talks progressing, getting closer to. I'm not sure if our inquiries are anything more than a passing interest. So interesting to see how it develops at the very least. Our fans seem to be positive about the idea of the signing. We got a poll out on Twitter on the Toffee Blues Twitter account. 67% of people would be keen on the signing. Again, it's hard to say if that's just skewed by the fact that, other than Young, we're not really making much progress on other signings. Is it just him over everyone else? You know, it's so hard with Chelsea players because you'd look at someone of Hudson-ODOI's age now and think he's not broken into the team. Why? It's probably just so skewed, stuck on the loan circus. But we'll see how that develops. It looks like Fulham might get the job done before we can make any serious moves. But we'll see how it develops. Next up is a fire blanket on the Johnny Evans news, the Johnny Evans rumours. Everton put out a video on social media, a couple of players training, and you could hear a conversation in the background, and it sounded remarkably like one of the people said to the other, "We've got Johnny Evans coming in," and people either took that as a signing or for a medical. However, the Liverpool Echo has said there's no interest there. They're probably saying something else. Maybe Johnny Evans is a sports scientist we're bringing in, but I don't know. At this point, the fact that that's run rampant and people are saying, people are having debates about the injury history of Johnny Evans after a video where they might have heard someone say his name. It's the equivalent of looking at a parked car at the moment and making broom broom noises. We're just desperate for something to happen, I think. But it does look like we are interested in bringing a centre-back in. A new link, Belgian centre-back, Coney Divinter. We've talked to Juventus, his parent club, about the possibility of bringing him in. A little bit more exciting profile here than Johnny Evans. Very dynamic in his so far limited career, dynamic in terms of his ability to play multiple roles in his time in Juventus' youth system, and in spurts at a loan at Empoli last season. He played as a centre-back, he's played as a full-back, and he's played in sort of a deep defensive midfield role. So a bit of diversity, a utility player, youth on his side. Certainly more appealing than Johnny Evans if it were to come to that. Interesting kind of profile to be linked with as well. It's nice not to read that in here. Also linked to Brentford, Nottingham Forest, and just feels like maybe our scouting staff are doing a little something there. More ongoing rumour, of course, Juma reignited that interest sometime last week after his stint on the bench at Spurs. Obviously he sort of swooped away from us, and it looks like this could be a repeat issue with AC Milan now trying to swoop in and steal our catch. We've heard that the players met with Sean Dyche, but he's also his camp is also in talks with Feyenoord. So between the three of those clubs, we'll see which way that could go. I don't think Everton would be the most enticing option for him at the moment. And then another ongoing one is, of course, El Bilal Toure. The price tag on his head at the moment is 30 million euros, which feels very steep for us considering we were linked with, Gyökeres and Joel Pirro, other players from the Championship, Rodrigo, for much cheaper fees, and we couldn't seem to get them over the line. So, does 30 million euros? It seems like we'd be paying it in instalments for the rest of our lives. So, yeah, that's pretty much the news. We continue to be linked or making inquiries or having interest over a vast swathe of players. But I think they're being sort of inflated a little bit by the fact that we're just desperate. So that's the news for today. A couple of questions for you. Hudson-ODOI, would you be interested? Johnny Evans, were you ever behind that idea, or are you more happy with this new De Winter that we're looking at? Dan Juma, would you forgive him for what he did last time? And if he does it again with AC Milan, does it make him one of those players that you just will always hate wherever he ends up? And what would you pay for El Balal Touré? So let me know. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow with some more news, some more developments.